Welcome back to PC Police Chase, where everything can begin with just one wrong decision. No scripts, no actors, and no second chances. If you're ready for a heart-pounding ride until the very last second, let's begin right now. At approximately 12:40 p.m. on the 22nd of January 2026, in San Diego, California, police received a report of a stolen white 2005 Lexus near the intersection of Euclid Avenue and Imperial Avenue. By around 1:30 p.m., an automated license plate reader detected the vehicle returning to the area. When an officer approached to investigate, the driver immediately accelerated away, turning the stolen vehicle case into a pursuit through multiple city streets.
Can we get 1141 for an officer? Street light fell on her windshield. Get on the fucking ground. Yeah.
The Lexus ran multiple red lights and stop signs along Jamacha Road. Even after spike strips flattened both front tires, the driver continued trying to flee until he lost control and crashed into a streetlight pole. The impact caused the pole to fall onto the windshield of the patrol vehicle behind him, leaving one officer with minor injuries.
Now, are you gonna get tased?
Is that a real gun?
Get on the
ground!
Yeah. Is that a real gun?
Hey, you wanna, yeah, it is. Do not reach for the gun! Do not reach for the gun!
It's on scene. Drop the gun.
Hey!
Shots fired. Shots fired.
After the crash, the driver stepped out of the vehicle and dropped an object that appeared to be a firearm onto the ground. Officers immediately kept their distance, drew their weapons, and repeatedly ordered him not to touch the object. Although the man raised his hands and went down to his knees, he suddenly lunged toward the object, prompting one officer to deploy a taser while another officer opened fire. After the initial shots, the man again reached toward the object as officers were forming a contact team to move in, forcing an officer to fire additional rounds to stop the perceived threat. Once the scene was secured, officers handcuffed the suspect, provided emergency medical aid, and turned him over to paramedics.
Yeah? Hey, you wanna... Yeah, it is. Do not reach for the gun! Do not reach for that gun! Hey!
Shots fired. Shots fired.
After being subdued, authorities identified the driver as 9-year-old Edwan Thames. The object that officers initially believed was a firearm was later determined to be a yellow lighter designed to resemble a handgun. Thames received medical aid at the scene before being transported by San Diego Fire Rescue to a hospital in stable condition. After his release from the hospital, Thames was charged by the district attorney's office with offenses including evading police in a motor vehicle, possession of a stolen vehicle, and vehicle theft. Across January 27-28, 2026, in Ocala, Marion County, Florida, police investigated 3 consecutive armed robberies at Family Dollar, Shoe Station, and Murphy Oil. After the third robbery, information provided by a witness helped law enforcement track down a black Dodge Charger on NW 8th Street.
You watch the wheel, Singapore. Show me your hands! 9th Ave, 6th Street.
When police attempted to initiate a traffic stop, the Dodge Charger immediately accelerated and fled. The pursuit continued through multiple streets in Ocala, with patrol units close behind as the Charger sped away at high speed, weaving through smaller roads and driving dangerously close to the edge of the roadway. The pursuit came to an end at NW 9th Avenue and NW 6th Street when the Dodge Charger lost control, crashed into a utility pole, and became disabled. Officers from OPD, MCSO, and the U.S. Marshals quickly surrounded the vehicle and ordered the driver to step out. The suspect raised his hands, complied with commands, and was safely placed in handcuffs at the scene.
Keep your shirt lifted when you turn!
After being arrested, the driver was identified as 5-year-old Clinton Dion Scarlett, who was accused of being connected to 3 armed robberies in Ocala within less than 48 hours. Police also discovered cocaine and synthetic marijuana known as K2 during the search. Scarlett was booked into the Marion County Jail without bond and now faces multiple serious charges, including armed robbery, unlawful possession of a weapon, fleeing with property damage, drug possession, and driving with a suspended license. At approximately 10:51 p.m. on Thursday, the 8th of January 2026, in Manhattan's West Village, New York, two NYPD officers assigned to the 6th Precinct were on patrol when a civilian stopped them near 3 Bedford Street. The person pointed toward a white BMW and reported that the driver had been involved in an earlier crash before fleeing the scene. After being followed by the reporting party to that area, the BMW allegedly reversed and intentionally struck the complainant's vehicle again.
Gonzalez, get behind! Shots fired! Stop! Drop the weapon! Drop the gun! Drop the fucking gun! Don't move! Get back, Gonzalez! Get back! Get back! Get a bus rolling! Get a bus rolling! 6 more! 6 more shots fired! We got 1 nail down! 1 nail down!
As the two officers approached the BMW to investigate the incident, the situation instantly shifted from a reported traffic collision into a close-range weapons threat. The man inside the vehicle suddenly opened the door, stepped out, pulled what appeared to be a gun, and pointed it directly at the officers. Both officers were forced to react almost immediately, seeking cover around the patrol vehicle while opening fire to stop the immediate threat in front of them.
Guys, this is 17. Have you stopped this time?
84, 6 out of 84. Wait.
I think 31 Bedford Street at the side. 31 Bedford Street.
Sir, off the gun! Some shots at him. Unknown if he got hit. He's on the floor. He still has a gun on him. Get a bus. Drop the gun, sir!
After the gunfire, the man was struck multiple times and collapsed near the BMW. However, because the firearm remained close to his position, the officers maintained distance, kept their weapons trained on him, and repeatedly ordered him not to reach toward the weapon. At the same time, they called for emergency medical assistance to respond to the scene. Once the area was secured, law enforcement moved in, recovered the firearm, and transported the man to NYC Health Plus Hospitals, Bellevue, for emergency treatment.
No, we're good.
Where?
491 for the director.
Yo, stop!
Following the incident, authorities identified the man as 37-year-old Dimitri Zass. Zass was pronounced dead at the hospital due to the severity of his injuries. The two officers involved were identified as Gesline Gonzalez and Christopher Rodriguez. According to the information provided, Gonzalez fired 14 rounds, while Rodriguez fired 12 rounds, for a total of 26 shots fired. Neither officer nor the civilian who reported the incident was injured. The firearm recovered at the scene was later determined to be a pellet gun. At approximately 2 a.m. on the 27th of September 2025, in Buffalo, New York, officers with the Buffalo Police Department were dispatched to the scene following a call reporting an unknown trouble incident. When officers arrived, they encountered a woman armed with a knife and behaving aggressively. The officers immediately maintained distance, ordered her to drop the knife, and attempted to de-escalate the situation before it spiraled out of control.
Drop the knife. Drop the knife. We get it. Listen, drop the knife and touch me. Sweetheart, drop the knife and touch me.
No, fuck that.
You have the right to fight back.
He touched me.
Sweetheart, relax.
What you talking about?
Nobody wants to hurt you. Relax. Calm
No,
down.
and then my bitch. No, hell no, fuck that. No. Fuck that. No.
We're not. Calm down.
Touch me, touch me. Fuck that, bro.
Open it.
Drop it. Oh.
The woman refused to comply with commands, continued holding the knife, and moved near a group of people who appeared to know her at the scene. Officers attempted to calm her verbally while also preparing less lethal options. When she moved toward the group and pointed the knife in their direction, one officer deployed pepper spray in an attempt to stop her, but it was not effective enough. Within seconds, the situation escalated severely as the woman continued advancing and stabbed a man in the head with the knife.
Yo, can you the gauze? Can you go to the counter and give me the gauze, please? I got you got something to help plug it. You got something to help plug it up. You got something to plug it up. Do you have something to plug it up?
Immediately after the stabbing, another officer opened fire to stop the attack from continuing, striking the woman in the shoulder. Once the suspect fell to the ground, officers quickly secured the knife, cleared the scene, and began providing emergency medical aid. The Buffalo Fire Department and medical personnel later assisted with treatment at the scene before both the stabbed man and the woman who had been shot were transported to Erie County Medical Center. Both were determined to have non-life-threatening injuries.
Stay safe. Stay safe. See. Come on. You here? Stay safe. You here? Hear my voice. You here? You here?
After the incident was handled, authorities identified the woman as 38-year-old Cynthia Gilbert. Gilbert was later charged with serious offenses, including attempted murder and attempted assault in connection with the knife attack. On the law enforcement side, the shooting was carefully reviewed through the legal process. By October 2025, Erie County District Attorney Mike Keene concluded that the actions of the officers involved were justified and that they had committed no criminal wrongdoing. What began as a vague 2 a.m. call turned into a dangerous scene within seconds. A knife was raised, a man was stabbed in the head, and a police gunshot became the final line, stopping the situation from potentially becoming even more deadly. At approximately 7 p.m. on Sunday, the 2nd of November 2025, in Salisbury, Maryland, officers with the Salisbury Police Department were searching for a man suspected of being connected to a homicide that had occurred earlier that same day. Law enforcement located the suspect in a residence driveway in the 700 block of Jefferson Street, standing near a vehicle with an object placed on the hood. As soon as officers approached, they immediately ordered the man to raise his hands and follow their commands.
Just listen to instructions.
Now!
Okay.
Keep your hands in the air!
Come and get me.
Come towards me! Do it now!
Can you please come get me? No!
Towards me! Do it now!
The lady's in here crying.
Keep your hands up!
My hands up, sir.
Hands up! Move!
I'm not.
Do not move!
I'm not. I just don't want the lady to get hurt.
Hands up! Hands up now!
I got less lethal.
At first, the man raised his hands at moments, but he still failed to fully comply with police commands and remained very close to the hood of the vehicle. The situation became dangerous when officers realized that the object on the hood was a handgun. Police repeatedly ordered him to move away from the gun, step back, and not touch the weapon. Despite multiple commands, the man remained in the dangerous position while officers tried to maintain distance and control the scene.
Hands up now!
My hands are up.
Get your hands
Walk. No. My hands are up. Shots fired. Start EMS. Shots fired. Start EMS.
As one officer prepared to use a taser, the other officers continued issuing clear warnings that if the man touched the handgun, they would be forced to fire. Despite those warnings, he suddenly reached toward the gun on the hood of the vehicle. Faced with the immediate risk that the weapon could be used, multiple officers opened fire, striking the man. After the suspect went down, police quickly secured the handgun, called EMS, and began providing medical aid at the scene until emergency medical personnel arrived.
Can I call my mom, please? Step back from the fucking gun! Stop the fuck! Step back! My hands are up! I am, sir! You reach for this gun, you will die! Here, step back! My hands are up!
Following the incident, authorities identified the man as 40-year-old David Evans. Evans was the suspect being sought in connection with a homicide that had occurred earlier that same day. He was transported to a local hospital but was later pronounced dead from his injuries. A handgun was recovered in the driveway near the location where Evans was shot. No officers were injured during the incident. What began as an armed standoff with a homicide suspect ended the moment Evans reached toward the gun, and in just those few seconds, a tense confrontation in a front driveway turned into a deadly police shooting. Early in the morning on the 2nd of December 2025, in Elk Grove, Sacramento County, California, police were dispatched to an especially serious domestic homicide after the mother discovered through a security camera that her 1-year-old son was being attacked inside the home. When law enforcement arrived, the boy had already died from multiple injuries, while the suspect had taken a firearm from a safe and fled the scene. Because Morales was a former Sacramento County Sheriff's deputy with military and law enforcement experience, a search alert was issued warning that he was armed and extremely dangerous.
Shut off the siren!
Law enforcement later spotted the suspect's SUV traveling southbound on I-5 at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. The pursuit became especially tense because officers were not only following a man suspected in a homicide, but also dealing with a driver who likely understood law enforcement pursuit tactics. As units coordinated to maintain distance and control traffic flow, spike strips were successfully deployed, damaging the SUV's tires. The vehicle then lost control, veered off the roadway, and rolled down an embankment.
Successfully cut that barbed wire. I don't have a shield. Anybody have a shield?
Hold until we have a shield.
After the rollover crash, officers quickly surrounded the area but did not immediately move in because the suspect was believed to still be armed. From positions around the heavily damaged SUV, police repeatedly ordered him to show his hands, step out, and avoid reaching for anything inside the vehicle. The situation escalated when the person inside continued barricading himself and reached into the cabin to retrieve a rifle. Faced with the threat of being attacked with a firearm at close range, multiple officers opened fire. Afterward, law enforcement cautiously approached in a protective formation using a shield and a K9 to clear the scene before removing the suspect from the area.
I got the dog.
Let's take the dog off.
Copy that. House. Moving, dog coming out.
Following the incident, authorities identified the man who was shot as 40-year-old Marvin Morales, a former Sacramento County Sheriff's deputy and the suspect in the killing of his one-year-old son earlier that day in Elk Grove. Morales was struck multiple times and was later pronounced dead after being transported to a hospital. No officers were injured during the pursuit or the armed confrontation. The case left behind an especially devastating outcome: a child killed inside his own family home, a former law enforcement officer becoming an armed wanted suspect, and a desperate flight down I-5 ending with spike strips, an SUV rolling off the roadway, and a fatal police shooting on the side of an embankment. At approximately 10:15 p.m. on the 19th of December 2025 in Rochester, New York, 911 dispatch received a call from a man reporting that his girlfriend's ex-boyfriend was trying to break into a home on Chile Avenue and might be armed. Officers with the Rochester Police Department quickly arrived at the scene to investigate. As they approached the side of the house, they spotted a man lingering near the residence, immediately turning the burglary call into a potentially armed and dangerous encounter.
Hello? You good?
Yeah, he's right here.
Watch out.
From Charlie, you there? Careful.
As the officers moved in and issued commands to take control of the situation, the man suddenly pulled out a handgun and fired at least 6 rounds toward police. Both of the first responding officers were struck and seriously wounded, while the suspect immediately fled into the darkness behind the residence. Amid the chaos, the 911 caller panicked, drew his legally owned firearm, and fired multiple rounds toward one of the officers, causing police to return fire because they believed they were still under attack. The 911 caller was also struck and wounded.
Hey man, stop for a second. Stop for a second. Show me your hands.
121, I see man. Try like. Come to your Thurston right now.
I'm shot. He's got a gun. He's going. Lost. I need an ambulance. Give me the car!
Despite being seriously wounded and transported for emergency care in a patrol vehicle, one of the officers was still able to provide a description of the shooter to responding units. Minutes later, police located the suspect near Arnett Boulevard and Thurston Road. When an officer ordered him to stop, the suspect opened fire again, striking the officer in the upper body. Despite being wounded, that officer returned fire while another officer quickly arrived to assist, took cover behind a tree, and fired in coordination. After firing at least 8 additional rounds toward police, the suspect was struck by gunfire and collapsed at the scene.
Suspect's down. I'm holding at lethal. Someone get suspects down right now.
You okay? Suspect! You're all the way to the fucking gun now!
Hold on.
Are you good? You good?
I'm good. Not good.
After the incident was brought under control, authorities identified the suspect as 8-year-old Eric Davis. Davis was accused of attempting to break into the home on Chile Avenue before ambushing Rochester officers and later engaging police in a second shootout near Thurston Road and Arnett Boulevard. During the second confrontation, one officer returned fire with 7 rounds, while the assisting officer fired 4 rounds, bringing the threat to an end. Davis died at the scene. In total, 3 Rochester officers were injured and transported to Strong Memorial Hospital. On the 23rd of November, 2025, in Newtown, Connecticut, members of the Newtown Police Department received a 911 call reporting a disturbance in the Hanover Road area. When officers arrived, Officer Hyvarinen was the first and only officer initially making contact at the scene. He encountered a man carrying personal belongings and ordered him to put the bag down and put his phone away, explaining that he was being detained as part of the investigation.
Daniel. Yeah? Just put the bag down.
Why?
Just put the bag down.
For what?
Put the bag down. Put the phone in your pocket.
No.
Put the phone in your pocket.
Get off
You're
of me. You're not gonna touch me.
You're being
Don't
detained.
fucking touch me.
You're being
Dad,
detained.
you hear it?
Being detained.
Oh, yeah?
Instead of complying, the man reacted aggressively and repeatedly demanded that officers not touch him. Although he initially raised his hands as if preparing to cooperate, he suddenly punched the officer directly in the face and began violently resisting. As the struggle moved to the ground, the suspect also placed the officer in a chokehold and continued striking him in the face.
You don't hurt my hip. I'm fucking hip replacement.
When?
You go, but it hurt.
Okay. So let me cuff
I'm
you.
sorry. Listen, she hit me.
Hold
in the
on, let
fucking
me
face
cuff
when I
you.
was in the house.
Let me cuff
I'm
you,
sorry.
and I will stand
Fucking
you up.
hit me in the house.
Let me cuff you, and I will stand you up.
You guys don't even understand.
After several intense seconds of struggling, the officer eventually gained control of the situation, pinned the man to the ground, and successfully placed him in handcuffs. Once restrained, the suspect began to calm down, apologized, and claimed that he had previously been assaulted by someone inside the home. The officer responded that the entire incident had been recorded and that the assault occurred while he was simply informing the man that he was being detained. Medical personnel were later called to evaluate both individuals, as they had each sustained minor scrapes during the struggle.
Yeah, he's 45 regardless. Can I have my glasses, please? I can't see.
122. I don't want to cuff you. Detained right now.
Can I have my phone and glasses? Please.
Yes. Relax.
I apologize.
Let's also
Listen, why did you come at me?
I asked you to put the bag down and said you're being
You
detained.
came at me.
Go on, video, boy.
Yeah, no, mine too.
After his arrest, authorities identified the man as 40-year-old Daniel Morris. Morris was evaluated at the scene and later transported to Danbury Hospital, where doctors confirmed that he had no serious medical issues. He was then charged under Connecticut law with assault on public safety personnel, interfering with or resisting an officer, and disorderly conduct. Morris was held on a $75,000 cash bond and was scheduled to appear in Danbury Superior Court. At approximately 9:45 p.m. on the 21st of October 2025, in Detroit, Michigan, police spotted a black Chevrolet Impala committing dangerous traffic violations near 7 Mile Road and Gratiot Avenue. The vehicle failed to yield, made a right turn on red, nearly caused a collision, and had an obscured license plate, prompting officers to follow and stop the car in a drive-through area near the corner of Gratiot and 7 Mile.
How you doing, ma'am? You went over that line, you know that? You went way over that line, and you actually almost got to an accident with two. Oh yes, ma'am. And then you said you're not sure if of any weapons, right?
Not that I know of. I don't. I'm not carrying no shit. Do y'all have any weapons in here? That's a no. I don't. We check, ma'am. Yes. Okay, no problem. All right.
Hop out. Go on, hop out, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
As officers approached the Impala, the female driver was only able to provide a state ID because she did not have a driver's license. During the investigation, police asked whether there might be any weapons inside the vehicle, but the occupants did not give a clear answer. The female driver then consented to a search of the vehicle. When a rear passenger was ordered to step out, the situation suddenly escalated. The passenger violently resisted, refused to allow officers to secure his hands, and forced one officer to deploy a taser, but the device was ineffective. The struggle continued as the suspect attempted to grab an officer's duty weapon before breaking free and running through the drive-through area.
You finna get tased, bro. Chill out. Chill out. Stop. You finna get tased, bro. Hands. Get the fuck on the ground. 4215 shots fired. East 7 Mile Gratiot.
Two officers immediately chased him on foot while repeatedly ordering him to show his hands. During the chase, the man suddenly pulled a firearm from his body, creating an immediate close-range threat. One officer fired a single round, striking the suspect and causing him to fall to the ground. Officers then quickly moved in, restrained him, placed him in handcuffs, and checked for injuries. After confirming that he had been shot, an officer immediately radioed for emergency medical assistance and began providing aid at the scene.
Stop.
After being subdued, the suspect was transported to the hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. What began as a traffic stop for dangerous violations and an obscured license plate quickly escalated into resisting arrest, fleeing on foot, attempting to grab an officer's duty weapon, and pulling a gun while being chased. After being released from the hospital, the suspect is expected to face charges related to resisting law enforcement, fleeing, and weapons offenses. At approximately 9:03 p.m. on Tuesday, the 11th of November 2025, in the Ellet neighborhood of Akron, Ohio, police received multiple 911 calls from Karam's Lounge after a man had been asked to leave the bar due to apparent intoxication and erratic behavior. According to callers, the man then went into the parking lot, allegedly pointed what appeared to be a gun through the bar window, and threatened to shoot, forcing employees to lock the doors and take cover inside.
You're gonna get shot. Hey, get on your pockets. Get out of your pockets. Car 4, signal 5, shots fired, suspect down.
When officers arrived on scene, an Akron officer approached the man outside the bar after receiving reports that he may have been armed. The officer repeatedly ordered him to raise his hands, stay still, and get down on the ground, but the man only partially complied. The situation grew more tense when he reached toward his jacket, causing the officer to fear that he might be reaching for a weapon. Only about 20 seconds after the initial contact, the officer opened fire, striking the man multiple times and causing him to fall in the parking lot. After the shots were fired, the officer continued maintaining distance while ordering him to keep his hands out of his jacket and avoid any movements that could be perceived as dangerous. When assisting officers arrived, they moved in, secured the man, and immediately began providing emergency medical aid before paramedics transported him to a local hospital with serious injuries.
Ouch! 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 Ouch!
After checking the scene, police did not find any firearm on the man, raising questions about the accuracy of the initial 911 calls and the officer's threat assessment during those brief seconds. The man was identified only as a 36-year-old male. The incident is now under investigation to determine what actually happened before police arrived, whether the man had ever been holding an object that resembled a gun, and whether the decision to open fire was justified under the circumstances at that moment. A call from a bar about a possibly armed man ended with one person shot multiple times, no weapon recovered, and an ongoing investigation into the most critical seconds before the gunfire erupted.